we've just looked at everything that's going on to do with legal migration. Now let's take a look at what's going on with the illegal migration, or what the Tories want you to think might be going on with the illegal migration, because they only really want you to think about the illegal migration because it's just a puppet show. It's the little sock puppet show where they play the hero going, we will strike down illegal immigration for you, and then they don't. They don't, they won't. Rwanda is a joke. There's only so many ways that I can say that Rwanda is a joke. It was never meant to work. It's political theatre. At least now it does seem that there is some pushback going against the legal migration coming from official sources, if only because that is where most of the growth is going. But either way, Rwanda is something that people want to care about, and it's something that we'll be spending a lot of money on. So let's figure out what's going on with that and what has developed over the past few weeks. First, though, we've got a career opportunity going for a production manager. We're looking for people with skills in videography, audio, and editing available to work in London. If you are interested in the full job specification, you can find that at lotuseaters.com/careers or lotuseaters.com/career production manager with hyphens in between, and you can fill out your application and send it in to us there. So thank you very much for everyone who applies. Good luck to you. So, Rishi Sunak has said that migrants are going to Ireland instead of the UK, which is showing that Rwanda has finally started to work as a deterrent. That's right, we didn't send a single person to Rwanda yet under this scheme. I'll get onto that because some people will go, aha, we've sent one, but that wasn't under the scheme.
It's also just not a solution. we're going to ruin Ireland. What did they do?
We're going to flood Ireland again because we've never had any troubles with Ireland.
Is this not, the plantation all over again? Like, we're sending new colonists, except they're all minutes?
It's worse, really, isn't it?
I feel bad.
Would this not just be evil? But anyway, so I'll read from the article that's quoted here from Sky. So if people come to our country illegally but know that they won't be able to stay there, I mean, apparently you can, and you can just mill about. But this is what Rishi is saying. They are much less likely to come. Sunak also said the comments illustrate that illegal migration is a global challenge. That's why you're seeing multiple countries talk about doing third country partnerships, looking at novel ways to solve this problem, and I believe will follow where the UK has led. Ireland's Deputy Prime Minister said, maybe the fact that it's all going to Ireland, and when I say all, it's not very much, it's about 6,000, but still, maybe that's the impact it was designed to have. The Safety of Rwanda bill became an act on the Thursday before this article was posted, with Number 10 announcing the same day that the first deportation plane had been booked. Anticipating the bill's passage, the Prime Minister earlier this week promised the first flights would take off in 10 to 12 weeks, come what may. So a nice broad time scale there. Prime Minister created the bill to revive the scheme and send people arriving in small boats to the East African nation after the Supreme Court ruled the scheme unlawful in a landmark ruling last year. So they just overstepped the Supreme Court, said, actually, it's safe. We've made this law that says that it's safe, so you have to treat it as safe so we can send people there. Now, this is, again, another business masterclass from Paul Kagame, because if you notice, again, still, we have not sent a single person there under this scheme, and yet he has collected £250 million. Well, sorry, £240 million from it. And Kunli Drukpa puts it quite nicely here. We heard you have a migrant problem. The threat of deportation to Rwanda is causing migrants to leave the UK into Ireland. We're being overwhelmed. Oh, it actually worked? What do you mean by that? Oh, how terrible. Perhaps we can help. I have a proposal for you for just 250 million euros.
You can send the Irish migrants to Rwanda.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Then he's going to, scam Iceland out of their money, and then Greenland will have to pay up, and then Canada?
Well, the thing is, we've not heard any official talks going on.
Migrant diggies are going to be like Vikings discovering Vinland.
We've not heard of any official talks going on quite yet between Paul Kagame and Rwanda and Ireland, but happily, we do know that Downing Street is offering to act as the middleman. They're saying, perhaps I can put you in touch with a guy.
Million.
I will also mention, like I said, we have sent an asylum seeker, one economic mercenary to Rwanda.
Are you serious? An asylum seeker?
An asylum seeker, yes. And it wasn't under the scheme. It was voluntary, and we paid him $3,000 to do it.
We paid a guy to go on holiday.
Now, bear in mind, he'd already been rejected for his claim. He'd already been rejected.
Oh, fuck us.
And instead of just deporting him like we should because he was rejected and had no right to live in the UK, we said, pretty please. And he went, nope. With a cherry on top? Nope. £1,000. 2? 3. Deal. Then he left.
Do you want to know how much a one-way flight to Rwanda is?
50 quid?
366.
360.
The dude got an extra $3,000 on top of that. To what, mill about? I don't...
In Rwanda, potentially. I mean, that's a lot of milling about money. Yeah? I mean, what
do you say? I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what do you say? A British government document published on Monday showed that the first asylum seekers to be deported from Britain to Rwanda would come from a group of 5,700 people that Kigali has agreed in principle to take. In principle.
Did we literally tell you I'm going to pay you $3,000 to fuck off?
Yes, literally. Even though, again, and I have to emphasize this, he'd already failed his asylum claim. So he had no right to be here.
So people are paid to fail their application. How is that going to function like a counter incentive?
I don't know. That's a really great question.
Rishi Sunak is talking about.
A few, like maybe a millennia and a half ago, we had a poem about the Danegeld. And I don't think they learned, our particular political leaders, I don't know why, don't seem to have learned that lesson. Do you?
I'm still in awe.
Yeah.
I need $3,000. I could do this.
Yeah.
My passport.
The government document that also suggested that the government would only be able to detain easily just over 2,000 of these people. So we've got 5,700 lined up, but we've not actually arrested all of them yet, and we can only detain about 2,000-ish.
To do what with? What do you mean detain?
To send them to Rwanda under the actual, deportation scheme.
2,000.
About 2,000 of them.
So 2,000 times 3,000 is going to be 6 million.
No. We're not. These aren't the ones that we're paying. Although to be fair,
just that one guy got a free holiday. That's.
But to be fair, we might be like, right, you're leaving the country, and then we march them to the gate at the airport, and they all just stand there and go, nuh-uh, and we go, please go. We've already brought you all this way, nuh-uh, and we go, $3,000. Okay. That might be what it ends up being. But again, like I mentioned, we're suggesting this genius business plan to Ireland as well. Asylum seekers interviewed in Dublin by The Telegraph this week cited the prospect of removal to Rwanda as their reason for fleeing the UK. So, however, new figures revealed a record 711 migrants crossed the channel on Wednesday, the highest number on a single day this year. Takes the year's total to 8,278, up 34% on the same point last year. Remember, we're not in summer yet, so those figures will spike like they always do. More than 6,000 people have applied for asylum in Ireland by April 12th this year alone. If that rate continues, Ireland will have a record number of more than 20,000 asylum claims by the end of 2024. The previous record was 13,000 in 2004. So if this is as a result of Rwanda, like you mentioned, we're just fobbing the problem off and ruining Ireland. I mean, there is a great tradition of doing that in this country, but it feels like a before problem, not something that we should continue doing.
You know how in Ireland the left are portraying us as like controlling the far right in Ireland with the British hand? It's like,
we're playing both sides.
We're not playing the far
so we always come out on top.
The British hand brings the migrants, and then the British hand organizes the far right response. No, we're just bringing the migrants.
And we somehow profit by all sending money to Rwanda.
Oh, God.
Is Paul Kagame behind all of this? I can only...
Paul Kagame's hand on top of our hand.
Yeah. Number 10 sources confirm Mr. Sunak was working on a statement of intent with like-minded countries such as Italy and Denmark to explore alternative and untested schemes that would act as deterrent to migrants. This includes details where migrants' claims are processed in third countries, like Rwanda. Again...
So Kagame is just swimming in money.
And he's not had to take a single he has had to take a single person, and not even under the scheme he got paid all of this money for. The man's playing a blinder, really, isn't he? You know what? Well done, Paul. I mean, you earned it. You really earned it. Mr. Harris has ordered his Justice Ministry to bring forward new legislation to declare the UK a safe third country for asylum seekers, overturning an Irish High Court judgment that the UK was unsafe because of the risk of migrants being sent to Rwanda. So we put in legislation that Rwanda was safe so we could send them there, and as a result, Ireland, who declared that we were unsafe because they might get sent to Rwanda, have put through legislation saying that we're safe even though we might send them to Rwanda. What is this clown world we live in?
The numbers say everything. They don't want to do anything, and they just want to appear to do something, so they could have, let's say, articles and videos of them doing it. Yeah. So they could just appear to be doing something for people who want something to be done about it. But
I'm sorry, when you said the numbers, I'm just in my mind. I had TNA, Scott Steiner, the Samoa Joe. You see, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Yeah, they do.
The whole thing,
they do.
This is a bad wrestling storyline. That's what this is. Oh, God. The new law, which they point out mirrors Sunak's Safety of Rwanda Act, is designed to remove the legal block that would prevent asylum seekers being sent back to the UK. At least 100 migrants earmarked for deportation to Rwanda have been detained since Monday. Yes, boys, we're doing it, finally. We've had over 8,000 so far this year, but 100 might be going, maybe, if we offer them, I don't know, 300 grand to leave, I suppose. They're being put in contact...
Take your 3 grand and a third chance times my 200 grand chance. My 4 billion migrant chance. You get $50 trillion, Joe.
You see, Paul, the numbers don't lie.
Oh, God.
They're being put in contact with lawyers to seek bail and challenge their removal, according to charities specializing in immigration detention. Why does the government allow this? The charity Care for Calais say it had been contacted by 90 asylum seekers earmarked for deportation to Rwanda who have been detained this week nationwide in nationwide raids and operations by immigration enforcement officers. Another charity, BID, said it had been contacted by 8 prospective deportees. Now, I can only assume that these charities are getting involved, again, to act as a middleman to negotiate better money for these people going over. No, we can get you 5 grand. No, we'll get you 6 grand going over. What a joke. And again, this whole thing just comes across as a pyramid scheme. Paul saying, I've got a new investment opportunity for you. Wow, really? For just £250 million buy-in, you too can join the Rwanda recruitment scheme, which means for each new friend you recruit to the plan, you'll receive 15% commission. Wow, it's fast cash and passive income. And here we see the follow-up where he's texting on the WhatsApp group. Yeah, tell your friends in Germany and Ireland and Sweden too. Tell them about this amazing offer. The best part, they'll get 10% commission if they refer a friend as well. The man's playing a business masterclass. I mean,
could be sitting on a migrant empire
without having to take any migrants at all, apparently. It'll just be swimming in money if they really do start to siphon all of these claims through Rwanda, except all of the governments are far too useless.
It's gonna be like with the drug trade, where they say that they should legalize drug trade. Now they should legalize, illegal migration.
It basically is.
These are the steps.
It basically is, because as well, you ask, well, we've already spent all of this. How much is it going to cost to send these people away anyway? Well, in this article, they say, Britain's National Audit Office, a public spending watchdog, estimated that it will cost the UK government £540 million to deport the first 300 migrants. Nearly £2.23 million per person. Oh, sorry, dollars, they say there.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The UK already paid £240 million to Rwanda.
Who, is the CEO of Ryanair personally debating the price of the flights with them and is just taking the piss?
And the UK government, and the UK government's just every step of the way agreeing.
They've never used Google Flights or Skyscanner or Kiwi. No. They don't know anything about budget flights.
I find it funny in here. This foreign policy article points out what we all know, which is analysts consider the UK-Rwanda deal a smokescreen in an election year, since the majority of Britain's migrants are there legally. Yeah,
mass immigration is mental.
Pretty much. asylum seekers and refugees make up less than 20% of all migrants. And they go back to kayfabe here. Support an aging population. Britain's health and social infrastructure relies heavily on migrants who can't speak English.
Australians and New Zealanders, yes.
Yeah.
Menets, no.
Yeah. Particularly young African and Asian workers. We've looked at the NHS data. Brits are overrepresented compared to their ethnic breakdown within the NHS system. We know this in terms of their staff. And it doesn't matter anyway, because these people shouldn't be here and they don't benefit us in any way. We have the data now. Up to last June, the top 3 countries for which health and social care work visas were issued were India, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. That country that kicked us out. Now want to be here, looking after our elderly. Fantastic. According to the European Council on Foreign Relations, an alternative policy of fast-tracking refugees and asylum seekers to employment could have netted the UK £211 million annually for an economy in recession. That's just a lie. That's just a lie. No, it wouldn't. And also, here's something else that's fun. Rwanda won't guarantee how many migrants it will take from the UK. Do you want to hear what they say in this video? Shall I play a bit of this little video?
Just her laughing?
While rubbing money. It's like she starts crying, she gets £1,000 bills, just starts like dabbing her eyes with it. No, it's not exactly that. But listen to what she says here. If it plays.
How many people do you think you could accommodate initially?
The initial accommodations that we have secured since the beginning of the partnership, this is Hope Hostel. That particular facility is able to take up to 200 people. However, we've already started initial discussions with other facilities around Kigali and further afield, and these will be firmed up and signed once we know how many migrants are coming and when they're coming.
Can't you give a guarantee that you'd be able to process the tens of thousands of people that the government would like to send to Rwanda?
We will be able to welcome the migrants that the UK sends over the lifetime of this partnership. What I cannot tell you is how many thousands we're taking in the first year or in the second year. This will depend on very many factors that are being worked out right now.
Did you see that smile? Did you see that smile where she's like, "Oh yeah, we could do it." I mean, we've only got enough room for 200 right now.
Yeah, we'll take 20,000.
Yeah. We've rounded up 100 and are planning to round up another almost 2,000 on top of it. They only have room for 200 apparently.
Well,
but don't worry, they're in talks. They're in talks with
Where is the
elsewhere.
criticism from human rights organization here?
Well, it's all going to the UK government. Oh, well, no, to be fair, there are some criticisms from human rights organizations.
Here to Rwanda, I mean.
Towards Rwanda. There's some talk about them potentially being in a proxy war with the Congo. Supposedly, Rwanda Defense Forces have fired some rockets at the Congo recently, which makes the country unsafe for migrants, so they've all got to stay here and in Ireland. And
I think they need to defend Rwanda with their lives, just like Ukraine. So we should send them weapons and migrants to fight the war against the Congolese menace.
Yes, clearly. We can send wave after wave of migrants.
Until the migrant kill count is reached.
Oh, no.
The kill bust.
Do you want to know something else that's fun? There's also there's a slew, when I was looking into this morning, of articles from The Guardian and The Independent, all talking to really frightened Albanian migrants going, "Oh no, don't send me to Rwanda. Oh no, this is so scary." And The Guardian going like, "Oh, can you believe that the UK government would be so scared as to send Rapey McStabface here to Rwanda? This is such a terrible thing for us to do." What is it you do? Oh, you run
That's his Christian name.
Oh, you run a barbershop. Oh, how do you do that? Wait, and a vape shop. Oh, interesting. But yeah, with the people who are going to be sent, once again, we've detained.
Sorry.
No, we've detained about 100 people. And what are those 100 people getting? What's their treatment right now? Are they being treated well? Well, they're being treated excellently. Because they're getting this booklet that says, "I'm being relocated to Rwanda. What does this mean for me?" And it points out Rwanda is a country here. It's probably right next door to where you came from originally. You probably passed through there to get here. Disclaimer gives advice. You can get a free 30-minute appointment with a qualified immigration and asylum caseworker by requesting a detained duty advice scheme appointment from the welfare team. So who knows how much that's going to be costing us. Is Rwanda safe? Yeah, it's fine. But also, if you feel it's not safe for you, just tell us. Just tell us. We'll probably not send you there anyway. And what else is in here? Well, they've given a breakdown in this Daily Mail article. I'll read through some of this. Upon arrival, the 100 men were given an 8-page booklet, which would include a map of Africa, pictures of Kigali, statistics about the country, a list of medical and legal rights they're entitled to, and pictures of the accommodation they'll be living in. Despite the claims in the pamphlet, more than 20 asylum seekers have already instructed their lawyers to mount legal challenges against their removal. Asylum Aid, a refugee charity, has slammed the government and says it's preparing legal action against the Home Office, including taking ministers to court. Asylum seekers sent to Rwanda will stay in a hotel in the country's capital, Kigali. The £19 a night accommodation includes a football pitch and bedrooms with prayer rugs. That's nice. Oh, also, if they commit crimes while they're in Rwanda, they get sent back here.
So, Rapey McStabface comes back if he stabs or rapes.
Yes.
They don't have prisons in Rwanda?
Well, not for migrants.
Okay.
God, the only British prisons are for migrants. Lawyers on behalf of Asylum Aid have sent a pre-action letter to the Home Office over the Safety of Rwanda policy published late last month, saying it's inconsistent with the Safety of Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Act, which became law last week. And I will go over that because I actually think that the action that they're putting makes perfect sense from a legalistic perspective in such a way that I can only assume was on purpose from the people writing all of this up. Asylum Aid says it's concerned the policy could lead to the Home Office unlawfully denying people seeking asylum from entering the UK. They shouldn't have the right, if you ask me. I don't care about any of these people. Don't let them in. The charity's executive director, Alison Pickup, said there's a lack of information on when the flights to Rwanda will take off and who will be on them. But the government has made clear it's determined to act quickly, and we have already seen the Home Office carrying out forcible detentions. The panic this causes is made worse by the limited capacity to provide high-quality legal representation in the legal aid and charity sector. We have brought forward this legal action to ensure the Home Office properly considers any individual cases against removal to Rwanda, including on the grounds that they would have returned from Rwanda to the place they fled. The FDA trade union is also bringing legal action. The trade union, which represents senior civil servants, the people who should be administering this, enforcing this, they've just decided, no, we don't want to. And so they've put a case forward. They previously said it would be bringing legal action over the relationship of the Civil Service Code with the government's Safety of Rwanda Act. The judge has also said the legal action was being brought against the Cabinet Office, with the Home Office listed as an interested party. So yet again, we see the Home Office doesn't want to do their jobs and will go as far as putting legal action towards the government to ensure that they don't do their jobs and don't have to and never have to. They can sit around in meetings all day, every day, talking about how gay they all are. And then if Braverman or whoever the current Home Secretary... Is James Cleverly the Home Secretary right now?
I thought he was the party chairman.
Whoever
doesn't matter.
Yeah, whoever the bloody Home Secretary is right now can just come in...
McStabface, I hear.
Yeah, he could come in and say, please do your jobs, and they say no. And he says, pretty please, and they go, if you ask again, we will sue you. And then he leaves. Fire them. Fire every single one of these people. Britain is not fixed until London is flooded with homeless ex-Whitehall staff. I will repeat that. England is not fixed until London is flooded with fired Whitehall staff. However, it appears from the claim that some civil servants believe or have been advised that it would be contrary to their terms and conditions to comply with a ministerial decision to proceed with Rwanda removals in the face of a Rule 39 measure, which was the same one that I think the Supreme Court struck this all down in the first place. So that's fine. What do Asylum Aid, what are their reasons for going ahead with this? What's their justification? They say the Home Office's policy, which was issued on 29th April, requires its caseworkers to assume that Rwanda is generally safe as set out in Section 2 of the Rwanda Act. It goes on to instruct caseworkers that when considering any protection claim made by a person being sent to Rwanda, they must conclude that Rwanda is safe, even if presented with compelling evidence that it is not safe for that person based on their individual circumstances. It also tells caseworkers that they must not consider claims on the basis that Rwanda will or may remove or send the person in question to an unsafe state. This, however, is at odds with the Rwanda Act, Section 4, which allows a person seeking asylum to challenge their removal to Rwanda on the basis of compelling evidence relating specifically to the person's particular individual circumstances that Rwanda is not safe for them. So in the space of a month, when they put forward the act and then the policy act saying how they should administer the act, they contradicted themselves. And the two things say two different things about how you should treat these people and what rights they have. This is a fuck up so clear and obvious that I can only assume it is on purpose to allow for charities like Asylum Aid to be able to put this kind of legal action forward. So in the end, they don't actually have to do anything.
Internal sabotage, you're saying?
It's what it comes across to me. And they say, as a charity that provides free and high-quality representation to people seeking asylum in the UK. So they get, these people, they get free and high-quality legal representation. Free? How can this random charity that nobody's heard of afford that? And here's another claim, and I have to give Steve Laws credit for this one as well, because he posted on Twitter directing people towards this. Well, you can go to their charity commission page. There's their charity number. If you go down here, here's their total income from the year ending December 31st, 2022. Total income, £883,000, £883,372. Total expenditure, 640. Where are they getting some of that from? Oh, what's this here? Total income includes £190,000 from 2 government contracts. They fund their own opposition. They write legislation that contradicts itself to allow for legal challenges, and they actively fund the people who put these legal challenges forward. So in the end, money is circulating around these NGOs and charities. Everybody is paying each other. The Home Office never actually has to do anything, and England continues to fall. Brilliant. The whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is political theatre. You are not supposed to think it's going to work. You are only supposed to let it demoralize you. So there you go.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as Common Sense Crusade with Calvin Robinson every Thursday. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.